the sudden move from Peacock to ESPN, the app of which is its own issue, $29.99. You're talking about a company who just recently, because we've said before, this is not a politics podcast, but the parent company of ESPN, Disney, ABC, is in its own issues right now in a political context. And I think the decision to go over to ESPN might hurt WWE in the long run. And it's definitely hurting the wallets of its fans who are already experiencing the hurt just trying to get to an event, let alone watch it. We're talking about, let's say a $70 seat 3 years ago is $200. You're talking about, and then you had Nick Khan go in front of Goldman Sachs, just a bunch of Wall Street fat cats, this, that, and the other, and say, oh, well, one of the things we didn't really appreciate about Vince from the company is that he priced his tickets for families. We would rather just make someone waste vacation money to come see an episode of Raw. That's their idea, is to just price out the median fan, and all of a sudden you have the Las Vegas crowd from this past WrestleMania at every show. They're not there because they like wrestling. They're there because it's a happening. And they don't know anything that's going on. And they just sit there. And everything takes a huge crap. And that's what kind of... I can't believe, again, that they're going back again to Las Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to be stealing your thunder or not, but they finally pulled the trigger on sending WrestleMania over to Saudi Arabia. People come to the United States for WrestleMania because the United States is a free country. For now. And anyone can come here on a plane with a passport to come see WrestleMania. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is not the United States of America. And the preponderance of WWE fans, guess what, live in the US, and they're not taking a flight to Saudi Arabia or staying in Saudi Arabia or trying to be tourists in Saudi Arabia. So do you just rely on the $100 million that you got for 2 nights of WrestleMania just to have 30,000 Saudis be your WrestleMania audience instead of 80,000 worldwide in America? Like, you knew that this was going to be the conclusion of this deal with Saudi Arabia, that this was going to be, eventually. And I don't know if they re-upped their agreement. I think it was for 10 years the first time. I really hope they didn't. They need to stop. Leave that to UFC. UFC and WWE, although belonging both to TKO, are still different. Are still different animals, and the WWE does not need to be playing around in Saudi Arabia anymore. And if they keep trying on the front end to pay their debts from the merger and put it on the backs of WWE fans, we've been seeing Attitude Era crowds for a year plus now, over 10,000 everywhere they go. that isn't guaranteed to stay. And you're gonna meet where the rubber meets the road somewhere along the way where you have to bring the prices down, or people will just sit at home. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too, political on this, it is a concern of mine as somebody who grew up watching WWE. Even though I left it behind, I picked it back up, and I do like the talent that they have nowadays, especially in the women's division. I do like the wrestling. I do like the storylines, the characters, and all that. But as a fan, I've been feeling like I'm getting priced out of WWE. And I saw a post that people think that WWE would cease to exist by the time we hit 20 in the 2030s, just because it's going to get so expensive that nobody really going to can afford to consume it. And I mean, I don't think WWE is going to cease to exist, but I think that it's definitely going to change for the worse before it does cease to exist if they don't find a stopping point. I mean, it's already tough streaming sports nowadays anyway. Now you leave a good thing Peacock for the much richer on paper ESPN, but now people have to pay $29.99, $39.99 to get ESPN Unlimited, and then people that had ESPN Plus and all that, they don't even get anything out of it. So you got those fans upset, then you got people who can afford to go to WrestleMania, they won't be able to because it's all the way in Saudi Arabia. They're just too much. They're just too much to plan around just to go see a 2-night wrestling event. So the TKO influence has really bogged things down when it comes to WWE. And also I find it crazy that you're gonna have a mixed martial arts event on a White House lawn. I just think that is crazy. That is insane. Like you thought you would see that in a movie, but what is going on, man?
You know what? Again, not a politics podcast, so I'll keep it short and sweet. It's idiocracy all around you, and that's where you get, the individual walkouts starting from the Oval Office, through the White House onto the lawn. These are people. Ridiculous. These are people who paved over the Rose Garden. Okay, like
it's ridiculous.
You can't expect much that is gonna make you happy, and it's the TKO. It's the TKOization of professional wrestling, and then on the other side, it's the politics as professional wrestling. And it's become more and more of that over the last 10 years on both sides. And it's hard because I like my professional wrestling in a wrestling ring, not, when our very, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness is on the line. And now people want to act like professional wrestlers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hope they don't. I hope WWE doesn't do that at least. Don't have the
don't put a wrestling ring on the lawn.
Yeah, don't